Yeah, welcome back to the Firehouse for some more Firehouse reasoning. I was watching a debate on the internet between atheism and Christianity. I say that is the polite word for unbelievers, atheism, and the other one, the believers. And obviously, the atheists believe that they say they don't believe anything, but they do. They believe that this universe or life itself is a random creation. I would call them Darwinists, as if there was no sense in the world until Darwin come up with an explanation as to life, and he was the first human being to figure out that there was no sense in the universe and everything was just random. And that, yes, if Darwin says that there is no law and order in this universe, then that's how it must be. And then the other side now was arguing that they believe, not that they know themselves, that there is a creator, because obviously they believe, and their argument was they believe this because this creator did send his son, and that his son did resurrect, as it was, from the dead. It's funny when I hear Christian, a lot of the things that they say is true. That you can resurrect from the dead, but not in the way that they are telling you that you can resurrect, or that one could actually wake one up from the dead. You know what I mean? When you are ignorant to what is right and correct, and if one should speak to you and you grasp what they're telling you, and that wake you up, that is how you wake up from the dead. Because when you don't understand what is right and correct, from the eyes of those who can, you are a dead person. Not physically, but mentally, Yeah, so they're as according to them anyway, God sent to prove that there is a God has gone to them. This is their evidence. But they don't know if this is so either. They only believe this. Hence the fact that it's so easy for the man now who call himself an atheist to see through the ignorance of the religious man. You know what I mean? But like I'm telling these men, because I've dealt with this topic on the believer and the unbeliever, the same. They are the same. Caught in the same trap. One believing that there is a creator, and the other one say, no, this is a random universe. You know what I mean? But believing that there is a creator is not right either. You know what I mean? If there is a creator, then you should know the creator. So we have to shift from both these position of the believer, I won't call him the believer in this one, the Christian, the religious man then, whoever, you don't have to be Christian. From you are a religious person, you are a believer, so you fall under that category. And then we have this other, I would call them Darwinists, atheists. I don't know why men should follow men. They keep, you know what I mean? If you're not following Jesus, you're following Darwin or some other man. You really ever operate your own faculties and think things out for yourself. You know what I mean? You have I don't know how many thousands of Darwinists you have, like sheep. Because he said it there, follow. And you have another couple of million following Jesus. So You can't know anything that way, because you're a follower. Your mind, like I say, is like a sheep. But there is another way that you can, where you can know. And the debate that I was watching as well, it was, I don't know which one of the Hitchens brother, because I think there's two of them. He was the atheist one, arguing the side of the atheist. Very well educated as well, I would say, And the other who was arguing for Christianity was well educated. But the fact that they were so well educated is the very fact that blind them in their ignorance. Because as according to Mr. Hitchens, science, I don't know what science is. What is science? And who can perform science more than another man or a group of men? So why should it now be the privilege of scientists? And I'm on about physical scientists as well, because science is double-sided within this dimension of a positive and of a negative nature. So yeah, you have lots of qualified negative scientists. I would say if you get 100 scientists together, I would doubt very much if you could find one of them that is genuine. Because to be a genuine scientist, you have to be an honest and truthful being. And the majority of, like I say, 99% of the outward scientists is not. They are just being paid to do a job, to investigate into matter, physical matter. You understand? But they don't know nothing of the, like I'm telling you, the third way within this triangle as it was. There's a lot of triangle in life, don't you think? Sun, moon, and earth. That's a tree, innit? And then within yourself you have positive, negative, and then you. You see what I mean? So there is actually a triangle in this. So now you have the believer, the non-believer, and you have the knower. So if you are, say, using the house of the believer, like I'm saying, it would be worthwhile trying to enter the house of the knower. Like while the unbeliever. You see what I mean? Because in the house of knowing is where things are going to be clarified to your mind as to whether there is a creator or a higher intelligent energy than yourself, or what you yourself presume to be. You know what I mean? Because from a knowing point of view then, tell it to the believer and the unbeliever. Because the believers have many scientists, and so does the unbeliever. Because the chief argument of the unbelievers anyway, those who was in the debate, was the fact that Darwin and other scientists has proved the matter that there is no intelligence within the universe. You know, they was relying on scientists. But like I'm saying, the scientists that they was relying on is like those scientists who are studying physical matter. Under the law as well, that when you are studying physical matter, you don't have to be morally correct within yourself to be an outward scientist. But there is another form of scientific work which you have to be morally. This is when you are investigating into the unseen one. Life is visible and invisible, and there is an invisible science which is going on. Now I'm saying, if you was investigating into the invisible science, which Even though they are not, but they will be able to confirm this by now, these negative science, that everything that they find out in their outrage scientific research was governed by laws. Isn't that so, Mr. Scientist? Don't you notice that anything you're dealing with, whether you want to call it atoms or whatever, you find out that you have to follow certain laws? Well, from that you'll be able to grasp the idea that we're telling you as knowers, that the whole universe is governed by law. And even yesterday I was hearing somebody saying that the American law are this. That is what I'm saying now. Imagine how idiotic human beings are, that if this universe, if there is already a law, right? If you go into somebody's house or into somebody's domain and there is already a law running and operating, what are you going there now introducing new law contrary to the law that is already running? Unless by some way you have lost your mind, or like I'm saying, you fail to comprehend that there is actually a law. Which I'm saying that neither the believer or the unbeliever understand this. They can't do, because if they did, they would never be in the house of the believer or the unbeliever. We're not calling them that in this reason. What do they call themselves? Atheists. That's the word. They call themselves the atheists. Those who believe that there is no intelligence. What baffle? I think what baffle the human being, they are always, they cannot get away from the idea that the intelligent energy that run things is not a human being. You think that the energy is a man or a person. How ridiculous can that be? How can a person, right, an individual person, be everywhere at once? In the time that was and in the time that's now and in the time that's no human being. Can't you see that is magic? Which human being could multiply itself into everyone and is in everyone, yet remains one? You see what I mean? So you cannot, the intelligence that we are on about is not a person, not a man, not a woman, but nevertheless is within man and woman. It cannot be known and it can be known, if you know what I mean. Because the one is the known and the unknown. So like I say, I like we see like the knower know. Oh yes, you can know the one, but the one will still remain unknown. And you can never know the one in the one entirety, because the one is mysterious and deep. You see what I mean? The one is here, there, and everywhere. But of course, if you are a believer, or you are an unbeliever, the only reason why you are a believer and unbeliever, if you was entirely honest within your own being, is that you are still doing things which are not morally and truthfully honest. You know what I mean? It's as if you don't take, like the what they call them, atheists was saying that, oh, morality is just something that evolve, you know, as according to them, as according to the Darwin. So you shouldn't really take any notice of morality. You know what I mean? So there, you find out then, if you are not living moral, you must be living immoral. And if you are living immoral, you must be a believer or an unbeliever. Because if you was living morally or striving to, that is as if you was sowing some seeds, corn or whatever you're growing. And if you was doing that, it would bound to grow. So if one was living morally, honestly, truthfully, striving for that, your understanding or the clarity of your mind would have bound to open and grow through your actions. It's quite very simple. But if you are not doing the action, and don't forget, you can deceive men, you cannot deceive the one, my master, that I'm telling you about. Because he's everywhere in it, seeing everyone, you know. And also recording your deeds. So if that one who can see into the spirit of man, into what you would call your soul or your mind, that part of you that is hidden away from other human beings, apart from a man like me who is an owl, yeah? But the one can see within you and all your actions anyway. Yeah? So if your action or your intention is not 1,000,000,000% on cue for what is right, you ain't going to get any understanding. You are going to have to stay in the house of the atheists or those who believe. You know what I mean? Those who believe, like I say, that if you should do this and do that and do this and do that, you will end up in heaven. Don't know how they know about this heaven, so that a man on earth, like I say before, should be on the earth promising somebody that if they should go over the mountain and on Sunday they should do this and on Wednesday do that, after all this now they will end up in heaven. As if the man on earth has been to heaven. I say, a man is selling you pussy in a bag. He tell you, have faith. You know what I mean? But things like that don't work. And it will never work. And you will never get to know the one that way. You will never get to know for yourself if there is any intelligence in the universe. If you listen to fools, we have to use your own mind. I mean, it's quite simple. Night and day comes, innit? That's intelligent, innit? The sun never seems to move. It moves across the sky and set on a regular basis. How much more intelligence do you want to witness? You don't have to know how the intelligence works. You just have to know that why don't the sun run away then or move to somewhere else? How come the moon operate? You know what I mean? And look how far away they are from the earth. Yet without them the earth couldn't, there could be no life on earth in it. So don't you think that is some form of intelligence then? What more do you need? That's what I mean. Life is one big road with lots of signs. The signs are right in front of your eyes, but you let some, what them call the brethren, Darwin. And mostly, like I say, these highly educated idiots who have a lot of degree behind their name. Well, they've been to Yale and they like to say Oxford and Cambridge and Eton and some other great brainwashing institution, you know what I mean? And that is not to say that you cannot go to these places, you know, and learn physical things, which is useful for the development of living, those material things. But you can't go there and learn spiritual. You can't go there and learn the law of the one. The law of the one cannot be taught in educational places unless it was by one of his generals. You know what I mean? And then if it was being taught by one of his general, it would be live and direct. You know, it wouldn't be like a subject that you go and study and then somebody give you a qualification and say, oh yeah, you are now a philosopher. I've made an appeal before for, I don't know who the greatest philosopher is on earth, but I would like to meet him to see what he's philosophizing about. Exactly what it is that he knows. You know, who is, maybe he doesn't know the one. You see what I mean? Yet he's saying, they're saying he's the greatest philosopher. You know what I mean? You can tell from the writings or the thinkings of Darwin that he had no idea who the one was either. And of course, if you should come into this life and you don't know who the one is, of course all your ideas are idiotic. It doesn't matter how many accolades human pour into your head and how many books they write and say you are great. If you as a being come out of your mother and come into this life and never grasp the idea that there is a law here to understand, then you live as a dead being. You never you would be like, I say, when the sperm was leaving to go to the egg, a lot of the sperm never make it, it just die, you know? It never come into life. So you know our sperm. And if like I say, if you don't struggle up to come into the new life, you will just remain dead, a dead sperm. Sperm that never, I say, gain no understanding. You know what I mean? That there is a law. And like I say, if any human being had grasped the idea that there was a law, all you have to do is live by the law. Now, when you grasp the idea that there is a law, this is where you will be able to see how religious people are foolish. Because if there is a law, not if, because I know there is a law, you can think of the if. There is a law. So all you have to do is live by the law. Yeah, the one, or the creative energy, set the universe in laws. So all you have to do as a being is to discover the law and live by the law. If you live against the law, it's living the opposite. So you're living negatively. Now, if the religious man now was, if man themselves was living by the law, which is what we should be here doing, living by the law, why now would you need to be saying that God sent His Son, or even or anyone at all? Why would God need to do that? Send anybody, right? If the law is already here, that we should live by. Nothing wrong with the law. Nothing can't go wrong with it. It don't need no altering, no changing, as it was set in the beginning by the one who know all the laws are perfect to a T. Yeah. So why now would He have to send somebody now to come and die and all this thing? Oh, no. Nothing like that. Things like that go on in the mind, like I say, of the believers. You know, but when you know, nothing like that don't go on. The law has already been running. Those who don't live by the law are the ones who create laws. Laws like you have here on the earth, or create religion, failing to understand that, in other words, there's a religion running already and there's a law running already. You know, the law cover everything. The law of God cover everything. Your religion and your behavior, everything, you know what I mean? So you wouldn't have to do nothing more than simply live by it. You know what I mean? If you want to make cars and build house and design a just do that. But just live by the law, because there is already a law. And if you don't live the law, you can't understand the law. And that is only the law, you know. That is not the one. Yeah, the one have a law, but you can know the one as well. Yeah, you not only can know the laws, and in fact, if you can live by the law without knowing the one. But if you live by the law, you will get to know the one anyway. Because actually the one is a part of thy own being. Now I've even heard it by some of these spiritual teachers, they're trying to say that we are the self. We are not the self is not us. We are we, we human beings, spirits are we. And the one is the one. Just like how you see the sun in the sky. The sun is the sun and human being is human being. You are not the same as the sun in the sky. You're different, aren't you? Yeah, we can live by the light of the sun, draw energies, get all the benefit there is to be had from the sun. But we are not the sun. Complete different thing. So it's the same with the one that is within. We are not that one. We can't be that one. I don't know why anyone would want to be that one. Are you just happy to be yourself? Stupid, isn't it? Why you want to compare yourself to that one? What is the point? What are you after? You are only a human being, like I tell you, right? You can only be in one spot at one time, like me here now. Just in this, sitting here in one spot, chatting. Trust me, the one is in everyone in the room and outside the room and everywhere else in the planet. So you can't be like that, innit? Even if he's a man, you can only be a man. The one is in man and woman. You see what I mean? We are not there dealing with this is maybe why the scientists don't grasp this. Physical science. Because he's only studying the physical, the body. But there is the breath, the unseen. In there as well, it's a scientific way. Because in the knowing way, we deal with facts. Just like how the outside scientists only deal with facts and reality. So in the inward way, we only deal with facts and reality. But you can only grasp these facts and reality if you yourself is a moral or striving to live morally good human being. If you see what I mean. That's why they say if you have ears to hear, you will hear. And if you have eyes to see, you will see. They have ears to hear, yet they do not hear, and eyes to see, yet they do not see. Bad action is what blind you and deaf you. Correct action to thy own hypocritical self is what open your eyes. Now nobody know you better than you, is it? Yeah, you can see your own self. You know perfectly well what kind of a character you are within your own being. So you are the only one who can fix that. Failure to fix your corrupted character, as it was, will mean that you remain blind. If you are blind, we come back to the same thing. You end up as an atheist or as a believer. When you are believing, you do not know. You are like anything that you believe in is utter and total nonsense. So if you believe in Jesus, of course that is total and utter nonsense. Because it's not something you know. It's a story. Because none of you who are living now was alive when Jesus was alive. So I know that for about 5,000 trillion % certain that none of you know Jesus. You can't know him at all. It was even in your time. So you are just holding on to a belief then. or you have faith, but you don't even have the understanding to realize that faith can be blind, because we're living in a positive and negative dimension. And you are for a trillion billion up and another trillion billion percent definitely holding on to blind faith, and blind faith is ignorance. With your faith and total belief in Jesus, and that if you should do this, this is what is going to lead you to heaven, because some men on earth made a visit to this place called heaven and see all the glories that was up there, and has come back to earth and is now promising you, and you know no one has been to heaven, and you let some, like I say, I don't know, this planet is a strange planet. The more idiocy you speak, the larger crowd you manage to pull towards you. No one wants to hear the truth. That is as if they are afraid of it. Trust me. And I can understand that as well. Because the world itself, well, not the world, the beings are in the majority negative. 99% of them. So if anyone go against the grain, as they would put it then, now it's like you're opposing the negative, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not like say an individual is after you daily, but that negative force is always pushing against you. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why these cowards say if you can't beat them, join them. But if you join them, this is when you end up in this ridiculous position now, like I say, of being an atheist or a believer. Let's get one thing plain and straight now. God is nothing to believe. And get it out of your head. Don't say, let's, for the sake of human being, let's say God is an energy. Don't think of God as a person. God is a higher intelligent. Yeah? But what I'm saying, you wouldn't even have to look far if you have any goddamn sense. Yeah? Which you have got the sense, you know. But I'm saying if your senses was awake, you don't have to look far to find the higher intelligence. Because conscience within yourself is a higher intelligence. That's why it is everywhere at once in everyone. Can't you see that's a higher intelligence? What could do that? Wouldn't you marvel at that? If it dawned on you, like I'm telling you, which is a fact for a billion, quillion, trillion percent, I always like to, you know, lot of percentage, certain that conscience itself is in everyone. Eh? Now, don't you think that is supreme intelligence? Way above any man. What man intelligence could operate like that? So you see, there is a higher form of intelligence within yourself. But you don't notice it. How are you going to notice if you are busy looking out into the world and following those who they tell you to follow? You know, Jesus or Muhammad or Selassie or the Buddha or whoever. And they convince you, and also convince you that you book that man right. And when I say that man write the book as well, everything in the dimension have to be positive and negative. So yes, some of what is written in the book was written there and is correct. But a lot of what is written there is not correct either. Because the book must reflect positive and negative. That is the dimension that we live in. That is reality, facts. You know what I mean? But the fact is, the book was written by man. What make you think that anything that man write now can be superior to the conscience? Because your books, whatever book it is, can only be in a limited amount of place. Some the Muslims don't have the Bible and the Christian don't have the Quran. You know what I mean? But conscience is in all of them. they have a choice. You have a choice as to whether to follow the Quran or the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita, whatever holy book. You have a choice to do that. But you don't have no choice about whether conscience is in you or not, because it is. Way above your, like I'm telling you, your movement. Way above whether you want to, like I say, categorize yourself up into different races or nationalities. Conscience do not care, is it? Because you see all these different nationalities. Higher form of intelligence. Yeah, but you're not going to know this one, like I say, because if you don't trust in something or someone, how are you going to find out about them or know about them, innit? And like I say, I don't know how many beings there are on the planet. Probably 7 billion are coming on to that, or some 6.5 billion according to them. But I don't know how many of them now trust conscience more than anything else. Because from what I can see, most people have faith in their religion, or their book, or their superstar. You love your superstar, innit? And you always claim that God sent these superstar. And you know how people, fans are as well. If you ever say anything about anyone superstar, they are very jumpy and quick to get upset. You know what I mean? Because they love their own books. In fact, they go about these religious men saying, oh, you must not worship idols. You know what I mean? Because false idols and all that. And then they themselves give you an idol to worship, which is another man. In a different way, you know. Here they go worshiping Jesus or Muhammad or Selassie or the Buddha or, you know what I mean? A man is a man. Yeah, and a man is not conscience. So you are supposed to, you want something to worship and to forever tell people about. Tell them about conscience. Tell them how it's in them as well and how they can get to know it. Don't go telling them about that somebody, that God sent somebody, and that I say the whole story is so ridiculous. Because God, who is the all-knowing, all-seeing, he's sitting there then, him and his son. He sees that if he sends his son, we are going to kill him, for sure. And after we kill him, nothing ain't going to improve on her. In fact, we're going to get more wickeder. So what is the point of him sending his son so we can murder him? And if Jesus was God's son, who are we? Whose kids are we? I suppose we are the devil's children. Can't be for God, because God already have a family in it. And Jesus is his son and we are not in it. So if Jesus is God's son, I want to know who we are. And we might be children of the negative master himself. Yeah. What they would call the devil. But then again, these negative, these unbelievers, they say the devil is not a creator. So the devil couldn't have created us. So I don't know where we come from in that situation. But it's better to concentrate on, like I say, ignore the atheist and the believer. And concentrate on knowing. Now the way to knowing is simple. You look at yourself, you be honest with yourself, and you correct your faults. This correction will set you off on the road. Whatever you need, if you need to read this or you need to talk, it will start to come to you. When you start to make correction, when you start to be honest to yourself. Now, when I'm saying you start to be honest to yourself, yeah, it will be to yourself, but you're now going to be honest to conscience then. And don't bother tell any more lie or try anything on. You're going to be totally honest. And when you are honest now, that is when conscience can teach you. Now, there is no hate and greed and jealousy and spite and lust within conscience. So there is no way of it teaching you that, is it? All that, it will wipe all that out of you. When it wipes that out of you, you'll be able to see. You see what I mean? You will now become like a garden that was once weeded up. But now it's the weed has been removed and we can now see the lovely bloom. And if that happened to you now, you would naturally get fervent and start to do your best to help others clean up their garden. You see what I mean? I always say, those who work for God more fervently. If I find a man more fervently than me, that means he must have done some real wickedness. I say, like kill about. Those was a real killer. And then one day he realized that killing was wrong, changed his way, and then he get fervent. It's as if he's trying to make up for all the wrongs that he did in his life. You know what I mean? He's more passionate about it. Hey, don't think that I'm passionate about it though, because I killed a few men before. No, I never kill anyone. I have never killed anyone, my friend. I just managed to, like I say, wake up early. Well, people are waking up early then, now. But when I wake up, it was early for me. When I was 27, 3 9s. So I say I'm a 9th grade general. 27. So from I was 27, I've never been interested in anything apart from the teaching of the one. My own conscience. So that when I come to speak, like I say, it would be irrelevant to me as a fire general then. Say, all these great men that you are on about now, if they was assembled on the earth now and I was spitting fire, no problem, let's spit fire. They just listen, innit? What they going to do? Overrule the one? Would they have some higher form of intelligence, do you think, than what I am reflecting from the terrible and dreadful God? No. They would sit and listen. Yeah, when my mouth get tired, then they could speak. But wouldn't have to be unknown revering like you are imagining in your... This is what the believer is imagining, that Jesus or Muhammad is some great light. You must think that they are greater than the light of conscience. Yeah. This is why we say in the fire, we destroy all wise men. Including myself. I never said I was wise, but myself get destroyed as well. When we destroy these men out of the way, the only thing that is left there is conscience. When there is only conscience shining a light, all that a human being can do is to reflect that light. Like how the moon receives light from the terrible and dreadful sun and reflect it back onto the earth. So you too, you human beings, can reflect the light of the one that is within all of you, like I'm telling you. The terrible and dreadful one. This one that is the law. And for all you lawbreakers, like I'm saying, really I think on this debate as well that I was watching last night, there was a professor of law. Sometimes you watch some things and you have to laugh. And as according to him, he studied law at the University of, I don't know, Connecticut or some university that he was studying law. No, but yeah, maybe in Eden and Oxford you have some goons right now studying law. Which law are you studying? If you ever should check these idiots now, they are studying some structured book, something that is written down. In fact, studying, I would call that anti-law. The law of those who set up law against the law of God. You actually have people who is qualifying that, claiming that they are some law professors, you know. And then you have these idiots as well who say, oh yes, that is justified under international law. Anything that goes against the law of God, how can you justify that? By what you have written down. By and think of the men who draw these laws up now. You think because godly men would never draw up laws, so it must have been ungodly men. Because godly men would have understood that law is already running, so why would you need to draw up law? You just live by the law of God. So the laws that these men are studying and are being highly qualifying are laws that are by devious and deceitful beings of the highest order against natural law. And yet, and these are the people now I'm saying who are calling themselves law. You have no idea what the law is. And for your idiocy and your deceitful behavior against natural law, which I'm telling you, natural law is far superior to your law. Natural law makes sure you yourself have a video camera within you. You know what I call memory. Videoing your actions that you are doing against natural law, that you must pay for it. It's not like your law. You break it yourself and get away with it, because you make it in it for your rich friends, so you get away with a lot of things. Suit yourself. Right now there is this man masquerading as the Earth Policeman America. Go around the planet killing all people in all manner and farms, are robbing them, are terrorizing them, as according to his law. Or when it pleased them, as according to them, to international law. International fraud. That is what I say. I don't call these ungodly behavior anything international. You have to grasp it in your mind here that Earth is not ruled by Noahs. Earth is run by unbelievers. Right now in Earth, I see it. Even yesterday I was seeing it. We are in America somewhere there. They say they slap down some law. And now this law now will allow man and man to marry and woman to marry. Because it's a big thing on Earth now, you know, same sex. And that the men was saying that you know, how could anyone stop anyone showing love to his partner? You know what I mean? Because this is all part of love. But early on in the year, I watched another program from Germany where an individual was arguing that having sex with his dog was part of showing love. Because he feel this great love, you know. And he was just like what the men was saying, that because of this deep love that they feel, they had to indulge in sexual behavior as it was to cream up the love then. So I'm saying then, it look like if you love a tree, you might as well sex up the tree as well. And if it's your cat, you love sex up the cat and the dog. Because that is what love, they are telling me now. Because everyone now is, like I'm saying, it's some right that, you know, that man now, it is man deciding this again now, you know. All of a sudden, he is deciding that, yes, everyone should do what thou will, the Alistair Crowley way again. And it is perfectly okay. There's nothing morally wrong with two men having sex, as it was. Up the waist passage, even though they can't have any babies, and it is against nature's way still. It is, after all, it is sex, you know what I mean? And what's wrong with, like I say, going up the waste passage? It smells very nice, or if not, we can clean it out, you know, with some perfume. And yet it's perfectly okay, man. And blah, blah, blah. But of course, if you are morally depraved, like I say, or if you are a believer or an unbeliever, if you are living in total darkness, of course you're going to lose all reasoning. And in losing all reason, all moral grounds and understanding, of course you are going to think, if you feel a bit of love for your dog, that you should have sex with your dog. And nothing wrong with that. I hear the man says if they stop it in Germany, he was going to move to Sweden, because there are more tolerant laws in Sweden for sexing with your animal. So yes, if you agree that yes, one should express love, that if you love all your granny, have sex with your granny as well. That's a form of it. Or if it's your cat or your dog, or if it's a tree, or any of the animals that you see, if it's another man, you know, it's some way loving. But in knowing we would, I definitely, like I say, for 1,000,000,000%, can't agree with anything like that. Now, I'm not saying that individuals don't have their own choices. And it wasn't me who gave you your choices. Your choice was given to you by the intelligence that is. And you are free to do what you will with your choice. So yes, if you want to be what you call a homosexual or whatever, you are free to do that. But I am also free to say that the choice that you are making is wrong. Because ain't nothing natural about that choice. And for society now, in general, to come and push that onto other people's mind, to tell them that yes, this thing is right, that is wrong as well. I don't think I should have to send my kids to school for you to tell my kids that an unnatural thing that I know is unnatural is natural. You see, because I have a right as well. Not only you have a right. And I have accepted your right to make a wrong choice. I never said it was a right one. I only agree with your right to make a choice. I don't have to agree with the choice that you make. Because in this world, the choice is between good and bad. Positive and negative. And sexual behavior is the same. It's a positive and a negative thing. Are you sure you're not holding on to the negative side of sex? Be careful. You might be a pervert, like me say. Because if the intelligence, because there is an intelligence within the universe, really meant for men and men to be sexing up each other, I wouldn't even agree with that intelligence myself. Because there's no purpose to such a thing. You know what I mean? But like I say, you know, it's a position that's held by the believers and non-believers. Anyone who know and understand themselves or come to their understanding would never be thinking of behaving in such way. When you know it's a different thing, you know, knowing and believing is a different thing, or the way of the unbeliever. Like I say, it's a triangle. You should always take out the triangle. Even within yourself, you will find it. The positive, the negative, and yourself. Call it the triad if you want of life. You know what I mean? And here we have it again in the same reason. The believer, the non-believer, and the knower. And I'm telling you that the one to know is the knower. It's better to know. Because when you believe, you do not know. It's like believing is like hoping, you know. It's not a definite. But when you know, you know. And one should know. Anyway, I've been firing for a while in the firehouse from a secret location somewhere in Babylon. Don't think that Babylon is a place as well, no. Babylon is a state of mind. I'm only spinning a fast one on you still. Anyway, we're going to reel out and fire out from the firehouse. Hopefully when the sun is out, we'll meet you on an outside fire. Reel out, feel out, and fire out from the firehouse. You know?